Hello and welcome everyone to our OOABAP playlist. So in this part we are going to cover each and every portion of our object-oriented programming in detail, and we will also move on to the advanced part also. So let's start with the very first topic, which is Introduction to OOABAP. Introduction to OOABAP. So what is OOABAP? Right, let's start with the fresh topic. So this will be my first introduction part. Introduction part. So OOABAP stands for Object-Oriented ABAP, and it is based on OOPS concept, which is a paradigm of programming language. So OOPS concept is the latest paradigm of programming language, latest paradigm of the programming languages. And what does it means? OOPS stands for Object-Oriented Programming System. Oriented Programming System. Okay. OOPS stands for Object-Oriented Programming System. Now, how does this OOPS concept works? So, what OOPS says, OOPS is based on two things. OOPS is based on two things, and these two things are classes or class, and the second one is object. Only two things are there, class and object. Now just take an example. Let's say if I want to prepare a house, if I want to build a house, what things I will need? I will need a land, right? Then I will go to builder and I will ask them that this kind of house I want to build. So he will prepare a model for us, right? First he will prepare a template for us, and he is going to show us that particular template. Then we will choose that yes, this template is good, I want to build a house completely like this one, right? So this is all about class. What is class? Class is a blueprint or template. Class is a blueprint or template for creating objects. Class is a blueprint or template for creating objects. What class does? Class defines the properties. So properties, which is data and behavior. You might have heard behavior. So behavior are methods. Class defines the properties and behavior. Here behaviors are methods that objects of that class will have. It defines the properties and behavior, which is methods, that objects of that class will have. Lots of things it contains. So what is the property? For example, if we talk about human class, so for example, if we talk about human class, our properties will be that we have two hands, two legs, one mouth, right, etc. All of these will become our property. And if we talk about methods, about behavior or method, we can run, walk, sing, etc. All of them will become our behavior. So same stuff is there. Now if we talk about OOABAP, in OOABAP a class contains methods, a class contains methods, attributes, events, interfaces, etc. All of these things is a part of class. It is a part of the interface of our class. Okay, so whenever go for SAP system, we will see each and every portion in detail in the upcoming session. For now, just a overview. Okay, so if I go into the SAP system, SE24, and let's say I'm doing something, we will see that part what it is. So I'll go for create, I'll go for class and something local. So here you can see a class contains properties, interfaces, friends, attributes, methods, events, types, aliases, lots and lots of things is contained by a class in case of object-oriented programming. And now what is this object? So object is an instance of the class. That is, it is the real life entity which takes some space. For example, we are the best example will be for we are the objects of human class. So human class, let me just show you. If I'll open Chrome, human class structure. So this is a human class, right? This is how a human has been designed. So this is a human class, but is it taking any space? No, this is just a template. This is just a blueprint. And using this kind of blueprint, God has created us. So in the same format, we have two hands, two legs, mouth to speak, right? So all these things. So we are the objects of human class. Now, how many types of classes are there in SAP system? So types of classes in OOABAP. Okay, types of classes in OOABAP. So we have got two types of classes, in OOABAP. First one will be your global class, and the second one will be your local class. So global class and local class. So global class and local class. Global class and local class. Let's see the clear difference between all in these two. So what is a global class? Global class is a class that is available globally. So a global class is a class which can be accessed from any ABAP program, within the same SAP system. It can be accessed from any ABAP program within the same SAP system, right? So where are global classes defined? Global classes are defined in the global class pool that are available for use throughout the system. So entire system we can access this global class, right? And from where we create it? So we create our global classes from SE24, which is class builder transaction code. So SE24 is the transaction code which is used to create your global class. Then we have our local classes, right? Then we have our local class. So that part we will see later. For now we will check types of global classes in SAP system. So types of global class in OOABAP. Lots of global classes are there. Let's see them one by one. So there are 4 types of global classes in OOABAP. 4 types of global classes in OOABAP. First one will be your usual ABAP class. Usual ABAP class, and here you can say the name itself is explaining everything. Usual ABAP class, so a class which we usually create for when we are creating a global class. This is a normal class which we usually create, and by itself this is our main global class. This is our main global class which we normally or usually create. Okay, so what is the use of this class? This class facilitates the creation of modular and reusable piece of code for SAP applications, promoting efficient development and maintenance. Okay, so that's perfect. This is the use of your global class. So whenever you will go to SAP system, let's go to SE24 class builder. Let's pass any name of the class, or let's name it normally first ABAP class, right? Create class. You can see we will all see that part. So let's move on to next. And here you can see the class type of our global class: exception, persistent, and test. So usual ABAP class is our first. Then the second one, exception class. And what is an exception? So an exception class is a type of class which is used for defining the custom exceptions. Whenever we want to define the custom exceptions, we go for this exception class, right? So what is exception? So this custom or these exceptions represents specific error condition. This represents the specific error conditions or situations that can occur during the program execution. Okay, and what is the purpose of these classes? So the purpose the purpose of these exception classes is to raise and handle the exception. So if there is some problem in our logic, we will raise the exception and then we will handle it accordingly. So this is our second class which we can select, exception, right? Then the third one will be our persistence class. Okay, persistence class. So a class that facilitates the interaction with the persistent storage. So persistence storage like database is the persistence class. So these classes are mainly there to perform CRUD operations. So these classes are mainly used to perform CRUD operations with the database. So database CRUD here is create, read, update and delete. So these classes are mainly focused on CRUD operations with the DB. Okay, and then at last we have the fourth one. So this will be your persistence, and then we have test class. So fourth one is unit test class. So a unit test class refers to testing the functionality of individual units of code. Typically, methods or function. So this class mainly focus on testing the particular piece of code from methods or function. So what it does is basically, so these tests done by unit test class verifies that each unit of code behaves as expected. Each unit of codes behave as expected under various conditions as inputs. Okay, four types of global classes. Normally what we create is usual ABAP class, then exception class completely focused on declaring custom exceptions and handling that. Persistent class is there for performing persistence operation with the DB like CRUD. Then unit test class only focus for testing units of code, so that we might not face any issue while executing that particular code. Then at last we have local class. So here locally, so a local class is a class that is defined within the scope of ABAP program, function module, etc. So within the scope, it simply means it cannot be used at any other place. So unlike global classes, which are defined independently from SE24, and they can be used anywhere. Local classes cannot be called from outside. It can only be used within the same program. This is our local class. Now how class is implemented. It's a very important concept, how class is implemented in OOABAP. How a class is implemented in OOABAP. So what will be see, the syntax for class in object-oriented programming will be two things are there. The first one will be your class definition. So first will be your class definition, in which we will define the class like methods name, their properties and all this thing. Class definition. This is my declaration part. We declare our class. And then the second one is class implementation. So here we write the logic of our methods. So writing logic, we write the logic. So this is the whole overview of our OOABAP, and I hope you understand what we are going to discuss. And as I am telling, we are going for each and every concept from basics to advanced of our object-oriented programming in SAP system. So thank you very much for watching. We will continue from next part.